In this video, we're going to be going over how my 1,000 subscriber YouTube channel makes me $15,000 per week for my B2B business. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Tucson Gilbert, and I've personally grown and scaled my own social media marketing agency. And I occasionally do numbers like $30,000 in a week, 93 clients in 90 days, $106,000 in a single month. And we've even made $15,000 in a single day before. Now, I've since used all this cool online money to do all the cool stuff you see people talk about. I've started taking care of my mom. I've started driving kayaks inside of a pool. I've took first class flights to Dubai with my mom on the left next to me. I've also started driving luxury cars as well. So in today's agenda, we're going to go over how to utilize content as an exponential growth factor, utilizing the value equation in your content, the formula for creating addicting content, why people will buy from you, and how to install content systems, as well as how to install conversion mechanisms for your content. So we're going to be going over all of that. Let's jump right into it. So utilizing content as an exponential growth factor. Now, why is content important? Content is the only thing that allows you to not only gain awareness, nurture leads, convert leads, but also increase the conviction of your current clients. Content is also one of the most leveraged activities you can perform in your business. Now, if we understand what leverage is, it's when you can get a bigger, more outsized return compared to the input that you did to get that return. Content, it takes you 1 hour to make, 15 minutes to record, and allows you to reach hundreds of thousands of people. This then produces an immense amount of compound effects, such as tons of appointments with educated prospects, tons of new deal flow, and more people who know about you that will eventually convert over time. Now, how does content cause exponential growth? Well, simply put, business is just arbitrage. Now, if you don't know what arbitrage is when you buy something at one market and then go to a completely different market with hopes to sell it for more money than you bought it for. Now, a clear example of this is, let's say you buy a stock at the New York Stock Exchange for, let's say, $10. You then go to the London Stock Exchange and sell that same stock for $11. Now, that is arbitrage, and you just made a quick profit of $1. Business is arbitrage because we are buying customers. We then sell them on our product or service and make more money than we spent to acquire them if we did it right? So this arbitrage can be defined as LTV divided by CAC. Now, LTV is the average amount of money that you will make from a single client over the duration of you servicing them. CAC is the total cost to acquire a client, and this includes anything you spend to acquire them, let's say on ad spend, as well as how much it costs you to actually service them. Obviously, we want our CAC to be as low as possible and our LTV as high as possible. But this is exactly what creating content does, since it's free to make and record. So there are three main ways for us to acquire clients besides referrals from people who already bought from us. There's cold, organic, and paid. The main reason marketing tactics will fail to work on cold and paid is because the recipient lacks trust and familiarity with the person that is reaching out to them. Even with organic, no one's going to buy from you after watching one video. But what does an overall content system do? It builds trust and builds familiarity. So each acquisition channel has its own individual cost. For cold, you're gonna have to spend money to acquire email domains, softwares, etc. For paid, you're actually spending money on these ad platforms. But the thing is, when you utilize all three methods, especially content, it will give you exponential growth because it will continuously drive down your CAC over time. Now, here's why. If someone clicks on your ad and then consumes your content, they now know you and have a deeper relationship with you, and they're more inclined to be influenced by what you say. If someone opens your email, decides to finally get on a call after, each email sequence, but before getting on that call, they search you up and find your content, they know you and have a deeper relationship with you now. Now they're more inclined to be influenced by what you say. If you didn't have these things, the likelihood of the sale is much, much lower. This is simply because all the trust and familiarity would have to be built on the sales call instead of prior to that call, which is what content does. Now, let's talk about how to utilize the value equation in your content. So, what is valuable content? What makes valuable content? Valuable content is not having a big editing team, so much production value, insane editing skills, or even an expensive camera, a sick looking background, right? Because none of that matters if what you're actually saying is bullshit. So your content is actually service. This is what a lot of people need to understand. Content is a service, and in any service, your goal is to provide value, right? So if you're not familiar, Alex Hormozi created a framework to define the word value, and here's what he came up with. Value is dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times effort and sacrifice. Everything on the top, you want it to be as high as possible. Everything on the bottom, you want as low as possible. So let's break each of these down and how we can apply them. Dream outcome, you need to understand what your viewers want. If you're an entertainment channel, they want entertainment. If you're an educational channel and you're B2B, then you need to provide valuable information to educate your audience. So, how to increase the dream outcome? You need to improve your title. This gets them to click and become interested. It needs to be something enticing that people actually want to watch. Improve your thumbnails. This should visually portray what will be discussed in the video. And then next, you want to improve your watchers' ability to actually understand what you're saying. So the goal is to have your viewers learn something and then immediately understand it enough to be able to apply it right away. This is what makes valuable content. Now, next, let's talk about perceived likelihood of achievement. 1, deliver on the title of the video immediately. Show your credibility and social proof immediately within the first 30 seconds, and then outline what you will be talking about in the video. Next, with time. Not only do you want to decrease the amount of time it will take for your viewer to achieve their desired result after watching the video, but also decrease how long it will take you to deliver the value in the video. This means you want to make your videos as short as possible without cutting out any important information. You also want to provide a chronological order of what you will be talking about in that video. Next, effort and sacrifice. Now, is it boring and hard to watch your videos? You don't want to be talking so monotone. You want to be fluent. Does the viewer have to work really hard to understand what you're saying? Or do you make it easily understandable and break it down as simple as possible using frameworks, templates, etc.? And then how hard is it to actually implement your advice after this video? Next, we will talk about the formula for addicting and valuable content. So if we're creating a great service, the metric that we're going to use to judge our service is time to value. This simply means how long after our client first initially pays us, how long does it take them to get some quick wins and their desired end result? But if we're looking at content, we're actually going to be judged on value per second. This means the quality of our content is going to be defined on the value you give per second. This means each second you speak should not be wasted with things such as pauses, filler words, or any irrelevant info. You want to cut out all the fat and just get directly to the point. Now, let's talk about how to actually install a content system. So why will people buy from you instead of anyone else that they're watching? A client once asked me, how will I make it in the content game and make people buy from me instead of the thousands of people that make content, right? A lot of people get so worried that content is saturated, but the answer is to escape competition through authenticity. When you're competing with people, it's because you're copying them and trying to do the same thing as them. We should just be yourself. This is simply because no one can compete with you on being yourself. Now, let's talk about the phases of content. The first phase is setting up the foundations, then delivering value, then creating your lead magnets, your funnel flows, and getting more and more attention. The platforms we're going to use Twitter, also known as X, Instagram, LinkedIn, and a newsletter. So the first thing you're going to want to do is understand your content pillars. For example, if the service you offer is lead gen, then the content pillars you're going to be talking about is social ads, how to create a good offer, appointment setting, case studies, and how to save time by outsourcing your marketing. Number 2, for each of these pillars, you want to go into ChatGPT and tell it to give you 70 FAQs for each. From these 70, you're going to narrow them down to about 30 of the absolute best ones. Then put them all in a spreadsheet with a checkbox next to each. This is how you will know which ones you have completed already, and then post viral top of funnel content and then link your lead magnet in the description. Now let's talk about an actual lead magnet. This is how to install conversion mechanisms from content. The first thing you're going to want to do is determine your actual lead magnet. This is where we dangle something free in front of an audience to allow them to enter our ecosystem and give them the possibility to become a future customer. So we're turning cold audiences into hot leads. The way we're going to do this is by providing customer solutions and introducing them into our service through the form of a lead magnet. What this is going to do is add audience members, which will get them nurtured over time through email blasts and our email sequences, which then produces a future customer. So how do we go about this? The lead magnet should ideally solve one of your content pillars. You want to solve one problem that your target market typically faces and solve it entirely. This lead magnet should be really in depth. Now, determine how you will deliver it to people. Are you going to give them a checklist, an ebook, a Notion doc, Google Doc, or a video. Then stuff and pack it with extensive value. You want to give away all your secrets and make it so good that it literally cannot fail. The truth is that less than 1% of people who view your lead magnet will actually steal it and install everything by themselves and just completely implement entirely what you're saying. People honestly just want proof that you know how to do something, then they will likely buy from you. Ensure it has a step-by-step action plan that people can actually follow. Use Gamma Docs instead of Google Docs because it makes it a lot more readable. And then stick to one idea and one image per slide. From there, once it's done, you're going to want to create a landing page for the lead magnet, create a VSL, create an email sequence, and give people the option to book a call with you at the end of the sequence. If we know how target markets work, then we know that 3% of any market is going to be in a buy ready mood. That means 3% will be ready to buy, book a call with you, and buy right away. So what this means is that we want to give that 3% an option to convert right away. The rest of the 97% can be nurtured and converted over time. Then put this landing page link in the first descriptions of all your long form and promote it with ads as well to give yourself a little bit of a boost. That's all we've got for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.